Hi, this is Vicki with Crafting for Fun. Today I want to share with you how to make a diorama card. I did not come up with this idea. I've seen many examples of diorama cards on the internet, but I decided to go ahead and give it a try because it's something that I had personally never made myself. I didn't do a whole lot of stamping on this card. I had some really cute balloon birthday paper that I thought made quite a statement by itself. So basically the only stamping I did was the sentiments that are on the front and inside of this card. It's really neat in that this card is completely flat when it's folded up, but when you open the card, the inside pops open, and you can see that the message is inside of a little window. So kind of a unique presentation, really fun to make and really fun to give and receive. So let me gather my supplies and I'll show you how I made this card. To create this card, you will need the following supplies. You'll need a piece of cardstock that measures 5 1/2 by 10 1/2 inches. You'll need a piece of designer paper, designer series paper, that measures 3 inches by 5 inches. And then I'm using black to go as a layer behind that, and my piece measures 5 3/16 by 3 3/16. Now you could cut it at 5 1/4 by 3 1/4 if you're not comfortable cutting in such small dimensions. A 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 piece of vanilla cardstock for stamping on, and then a 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 piece of cardstock in the same color as your base card as a layer behind that. And then I have an additional piece of designer paper that is 1 inch by 3 inches, and I'm just going to use that to decorate the inside of my card. In addition to that, I needed a piece of vanilla cardstock that is 2 by 2 3/4 for stamping on the inside of my card. Let me show you how I made this. I'm going to begin by actually scoring my base cardstock. So I've laid my cardstock so that the 10 1/2 inch edge is across the top. And now I'm going to score. I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to score at 3 1/2 inches. I'm going to score at 4 inches and 7 inches. Now I'm finished with my scoring tool, so I can go ahead and remove that. And I want to fold and burnish along all of my score lines. And after you get all of your score lines folded and burnished, it will be easy to see how this card gets its shape. So you can see, if you take that folded part, it makes the box, and that this is the front of the card. So what you want to do is you want to take not the 1/2 inch section, but the next section over. That is the inside portion of your card, and you're going to need to punch the area where your sentiment is going to go before you go on and construct your card. So I'm going to insert my punch, and I'm going to make sure that I'm centering it from side to side within that section, and I'm going to punch. And there I have my space for my sentiment. Now I can go ahead and lay my card down, and actually I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to apply adhesive along that 1/2 inch section. That's essentially a little glue tab. Make sure you get adhesive all the way down to the end. There we go. And now I like to fold that completely flat with the 1 inch flap, completely flat, and then fold the front of the card over the top of it. And then you can burnish down very well, and when you open it, you'll see that your card is essentially constructed. And now all that's left is to decorate it. So I went ahead and layered my designer series paper on top of my black paper to create a layer for the front of my card. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And I'm just going to center that up so that I have even borders all the way around. There we go. Burnish that down very well. And now I'm ready to do some stamping. So I'm going to take my 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 piece of vanilla cardstock, and I am using sentiments from the Big Day stamp set by Stampin' Up, but you could use whatever you have in your personal stamp stash. I'm going to use this Celebrate Your Big Day with Cake, and I'm going to use the and perhaps a little ice cream on the inside and the Happy Birthday on the inside. Well, I don't know about that Happy Birthday. I was thinking about that. Let's see how that works. So I have some Early Espresso ink here. And I thought about using black ink, but I decided that the Early Espresso was just a little bit softer look. So I decided to try that. I'm going to stamp right in the center of that piece of cardstock. And I have a good image. And I'm going to go ahead and close my ink pad for just a moment. And now I'm going to eventually layer these two pieces together, but I want to punch the corners out. And what I have found is a little time-saving means here. So I layer them on top of each other and I line them up so that this corner they're completely together on both sides. And then I take my ticket corner punch and insert it, and I can punch through both corners at the same time. Now I want to go over to the opposite corner and line them up so that both corners are completely lined up. And I want to repeat that. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And then I'll show you what a cool effect this gives. And I'm going to do that for the fourth corner. I'm going to move it over, line my two pieces up so that the corners are exactly matched. And now you'll see when I layer them together, both of them have the ticket corners punched and there's an even border all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that in place. I just thought that was a cool look. Certainly not completely necessary, but I just like the way it looked. So there we go. Now I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. About 3. Remove the liners. And I'm ready to add that to the front of my card. So I just want to center it from side to side and make sure it's straight. The front of my card is done, and now I'll move on to the inside. So I went ahead and stamped a second sentiment. I stamped the and perhaps a little ice cream on a 2" by 2 3/4 inch, yes, 2 by 2 3/4 inch piece of cardstock. And then I just took a scrap of cardstock that I had left, and I'm going to use it like a handle, and I just put it on the back of my piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive. I'm going to try not to go over that little handle that I created. And it doesn't take much adhesive to hold this little piece in place. And I'm going to go ahead and insert my card, and I want to do it with my card completely open because I want this message to show and be centered when my card is completely open. And now I can put my sentiment in there, and you see I can wiggle it around and I can get it centered up exactly the way I like it. So I find it easiest to do if I lay it on my work surface, and then when I get it exactly how I want it, I put my finger on it and I go ahead and pull that little extra piece out, and that way my sentiment is completely the way I want it on the inside. And now I'm going to take that little 1" by 3" piece of designer paper, and I want to bring some of that paper that was on the front of my card to the inside of my card. And I'm going to go ahead and just add that along the bottom. And I usually do it, maybe about 1/8 of an inch up. I like to have just a little bit of the color of the base cardstock showing along the bottom. Now I thought about stamping the happy birthday there, but I think that this is just a perfect amount of space for me to write a little note and happy birthday and sign my name, so I don't think I'm going to add that to this card. So it says celebrate your big day with cake and perhaps a little ice cream. And the lovely thing about this card is it folds completely flat for mailing, so no additional postage will be required. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions, please email me at craftingforfun@gmail.com or check out my blog craftingforfun.blogspot.com for additional craft ideas.